What's up guys, it's Nick True here, and today I just want to encourage you and remind you that you can literally do anything. I know it's been a few weeks since I've posted. It's been kind of a crazy time for us. Hannah just left her full-time job to be able to come and work remotely with me full-time. We did a major renovation to the Airstream. We took out the couch and the kitchen dinette and put in a nice work table so that we could both have a space to work. But we're back. We're now finally settling back into our kind of normal routine. And today I just want to talk about how you have 100% control over the choices that you make. Even if you feel like you're influenced by something outside of yourself, you're still in control. Over the past couple of years, Hannah and I have been able to both leave our normal day jobs to move full-time into a 27-foot Airstream. We've added 2 dogs to our family in addition to the 2 cats that we've already had. And now we're able to travel around the country and do kind of whatever we want, when we want, as long as we're getting our work done. And this may not be exactly what you want to do, but I have a hunch that there is probably something in your life that you do want to do, that you really do want to go after. And so that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you the 3 things that you have to be able to do literally anything, even if people think you're crazy. A few weeks ago, I was in San Jose, California on a work trip, and I got to meet a ton of people who live very different lives than I do. And that's great because I love meeting new people and learning about their backgrounds and kind of where they come from. Now, as someone who grew up in a low cost of living area, I'm fascinated by people who grew up and live in high cost areas like San Jose, San Francisco, New York, Portland, etc. These people pay astronomical prices and sometimes have insane commutes just to live in the cities that they live in. And now, don't get me wrong, if you like that, if that's where you really want to be, then I'm not hating on that at all. But what I found was that a lot of the people I met weren't in that situation. I was consistently hearing things like, yep, the commute sucks. I spend 2 to 3 hours a day in the car. I've actually been eating so bad because I don't have the time now to go to the gym or cook my own meals that I'm gaining weight like crazy. I had to move back into my parents' house because I just couldn't afford to live here. These are the kinds of phrases that I kept hearing people say over and over again. And so inevitably I would follow up with the question of, so why are you still here? Why don't you just move? Ultimately, when I pushed and prodded, it came down to a couple of reasons for why they were still there. Number 1 was family. Maybe their family's there and they didn't want to leave them. Number 2 was it's all they've ever known and they're afraid of going somewhere new. They have a good job there, they have a good setup there, and the fear of trying to find a new job in another less expensive city was overwhelming. Now again, I'm not talking to people who love living in that city. I'm talking about people who would like to get out, who would like to do something different, but for whatever reason, they just haven't. But see, I look at these folks and I'm like, where I'm from, the price that you're paying for an apartment would get you an absolute mansion. Even if you could just get a salary that was half as much as you're making out here, you could live like a king where I'm from. It's insane to me that these people want to move, but they don't. Actually, it goes back to the sunk cost video that I did a couple months back where I talked about how when you get stuck down a path, when you get going down one single direction, oftentimes we humans start going that way and we go that way for so long that moving off that path just doesn't make any sense to us. It doesn't seem feasible or real, and it seems like all this other time would be wasted if we were to change directions now. Now, I set this video up in this story about wanting to move but not being comfortable or not being able to move as just an example. You may like where you live and you may not resonate with this exact reason or this exact thing, but I want you to think about something in your life that you've always wanted to do or something you've wanted to accomplish that for some reason you haven't yet. This could be a trip, it could be moving, it could be changing careers, it could be just saving a bunch of money for something, or it could be crushing that student loan debt that's been choking you. Whatever it is for you, I just want you to think about one thing that you would like to do but for whatever reason you haven't done yet. I'm not sure what it is for you, but let's talk through the 3 things that you have to be able to do whatever that thing is. This is the 3 things that we've used to be able to do the big things that we're now doing, and it's the 3 things that some of my friends could use if they decided they wanted to move from San Jose. Alright, number 1 is setting clearly defined goals. Now, I've talked a whole lot about goal setting in the past. I'll link to a video down below, but ultimately this comes down to you have to know where you want to go if you have any hope of actually getting there. A lot of people would like to do something different in their life, but because they haven't actually written down the goal that they have, the likelihood of actually hitting it is slim to none. Dr. Gail Matthews, a psychology professor at the Dominican University of California, found that you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals and dreams if you just simply write them down on a regular basis. That's why I've personally started writing down my goals every single morning as part of my journaling process. It gets me grounded for the day and it keeps me focused on what I'm really trying to achieve. See, Hannah and I first started talking about full-time RVing in August of 2015. We sat down and we started dreaming. We started writing down what our life could look like and what it might look like once we got there. there. We started setting down clearly defined goals for what we wanted to do. And it took us 2 years. It was August 2017 before we were actually able to move into the RV full time. And then it took us another 8 months to get Hannah out of her travel physical therapy job to where she could work totally remotely with me. The only way that we were able to achieve this was by sitting down and hammering out those goals and exactly what we wanted to do. And then over the next 2 years, we refined our game plan for how we were actually going to do it. Which brings me to my second point. The second thing you need is you have to have a game plan. You have to map out your strategy for actually getting there. This is where you sit down with a pencil and a piece of paper and you literally start mapping out how you're going to get where you want to go or how you're going to save the money that you need to get where you want to go. Hannah and I created a Google Doc that was shared between our 2 emails where we could both drop links and videos and articles that we came across about how to do certain things. We had to look up RV costs and the different types of RVs and RV life and downsizing and all these different things that go into that. And then we had to sit down and make a budget of what our lifestyle was going to cost once we got there. How much was RV insurance going to cost? How much was all, these things associated with this new life going to cost us? And how could we get our income to where we need it to be? And then also, how could we start saving enough money now so that we can actually afford it once we get there? If you're serious about doing something different than your friends, than your family, than just normal society, you've got to have a game plan and a strategy for actually getting there. And number 3, the last thing that you need to being able to literally do anything is a support system that will help you along the way. Now, Hannah and I have been very lucky to both have parents who were totally supportive of our goals and our dreams in this situation. They were totally supportive as we decided to leave the jobs that we went to college for and went traipsing off around the country on this whole new adventure. They didn't hate on us or tell us we couldn't do it. They absolutely stood behind us and they believed that if we really put our minds to it, if we wanted it bad enough, we could absolutely do it. Now, unfortunately, you may not be that lucky. Your parents may not be super supportive of whatever it is you're trying to do. And in that case, you have to find friends and family who are. Now, Hannah and I both had each other, which was also a big part of it. We were able to attack this thing as a team. There would be weeks where she would kind of feel down and doubting whether or not we could actually do this thing. And then there might be times later on where I was doubting or I was having second thoughts and she was there to encourage me in the same way. Being able to work together on this thing was a massive part of us actually achieving it. Now, Hannah and I definitely didn't have everybody in our life that were super encouraging. In fact, we had some people in our life that were very discouraging and throwing a lot of hate our way about our plans that we were trying to make. They didn't believe that what we were doing was wise, or they didn't even believe that it was possible at all. We had some people in our personal life as well as our professional and career life that were very judgmental and extremely discouraging about what we were trying to do. Anytime that you do something different and against the norm, anytime you decide you're not going to live in debt and you're going to take control of your finances, anytime you decide you're not going to eat all the time and you're going to take control of your health, anytime you decide you're not going to live here or work there, you're going to do something different, people are going to push back. Oftentimes, this actually stems from their own insecurity about their choices in their life. If you're able to succeed or you're able to do something big and you came from a similar situation as they did, then that means that the only reason they're not succeeding is because of the choices that they've made, and they don't want to see that. So they would rather pull you down, they would rather discourage you and keep you down at their level rather than see you shine, because then they're just going to feel bad about themselves. This is hard, it's not fun, but unfortunately, it does happen. And that's why you need people in your life that support you. Now, don't get me wrong, you do not need a bunch of yes men in your life that are just going to say, yeah, absolutely, you can do it, quit the job, do this, go there, try it out, whatever. You don't need people who are just blindly supporting you. You need wise counsel and wise people in your life that are supporting you. Hannah and I were able to do a lot of what we've been able to do because of our lack of student loan debt. If we were strapped with $100,000 with a student loan debt like some of Hannah's friends that she was in graduate school with, it would not have been a very wise decision to do what we've done. And our parents probably would have stepped in at that point and said, hey, you may need to rethink this just a little bit. But because they know us, they know that we're wise with our money, they know that we've made good financial decisions, they felt comfortable supporting us and saying, yeah, go for it. At the end of the day, you need people in your corner who are actively supporting and encouraging you and can also provide wise counsel to you and help you think through these big decisions. It is a long, hard path to doing big things, and you're going to have down days. That's where the encouragement comes in. And even though it's tough, the upside is totally worth it. So I don't know what it is for you. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what goals you have, but I do know that whatever big things, whatever big dreams you have, money and finance is always involved, which is why I'm talking about it on this channel. I just want to encourage you and remind you that you are 100% in control and you can absolutely do it. You can literally do anything you want if you want it bad enough. That's the question though. How bad do you actually want it? So that's it, guys. Now please leave a comment down below and tell me what's one thing that you really want to do and go after, but for whatever reason you haven't yet. Maybe you don't believe in yourself, or maybe you've got people in your life actively telling you that you can't. I really want to know what that is for you. Be sure to subscribe if you like this video and want more videos like it. And remember, I can teach you how to map out a game plan for getting to those big things, but I can't make you do it. The choice is yours. I'll see y'all next time.